everyone. Jane here this morning. Good morning, Alicia.
Well, good morning, friend.
You know what? Someone commented on our podcast where we're going to throw a 1 million, our 1 million download party.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, what about at the casino? Everyone can sleep over. I'm like, they're just trying to make it this one big thing. They can't get enough. They can't get enough. They would
Is the
like for us to
casino
sleep
open?
over. It is open. It is open, Alicia. I think they're having their first events later this year. La. They're trying to just like rebuild their their team. You know what I mean? Like imagine that, huh?
Yeah.
What a crazy industry.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Jeff was like, that industry just like really, oh, the movies last night.
Yes.
The movies last night. So I was like, I'm so happy for them. Like it was sold out. It was probably sold out. Very close to sold out.
Wait, I was so happy for them. You were so happy for Cineplex?
Yes. I'm so happy when businesses do really well. I'm so happy when I see people going out. So yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm like, good for them. Like, I'm really happy that it's like picking up. He's like, it'll never be like what it was before because like that whole industry just shifted. That whole like movie making, all of that. But anyways, you guys, I went to see Top Gun. What an amazing movie, Alicia. You would love it.
Really?
Yes. Like I was like so engaged. Like I woke up quite early yesterday morning and it's still like a movie at 9 p.m. No, like that's like perfect setup. It's warm and dark and you could fall asleep fácil. Have you ever fallen asleep in a movie theater?
Do you know me? Absolutely not. I cannot fall asleep anywhere but my own bed at 10 p.m. under perfect conditions. Like I am not this like napper.
Okay, so I have definitely fallen asleep in movie theaters for sure. If the movie's super boring. Oh my God, funny story. One time I went to go watch Harry Potter. I've never been a Harry Potter person. So I went to the movies and I was like, I'm going to watch Harry Potter. I hated it so much. Like when it was over, I'm like, let's leave before it starts again. Like, go, get out of this theater. It's not my style, like not my thing. Anyways, last night was like basically me trying to be a really good wife. Jeff was really excited about this and I was supporting him. But I have to say, pleasantly surprised. And can we talk about Tom Cruise being 62 and looking like that?
Let's.
Not even his body, Alicia. His face. Like he is young looking, like his face. And I tried to look for Botox. I was like, how's his forehead moving? Like what's happening? He had tiny creases, the tiniest ones. They probably told him to like not go for his touch up before the show. But like no crow's feet, nothing, like everything's soft. It's very interesting. Very good looking. I have to say, I'm not a Tom Cruise, like, oh, what a good looking man. But last night, I have to say, I'm like, you're 62. Like, this is good shit.
But like 62, like, I mean, yeah. I'm like looking at my parents that are 62, like, and I think men just like age different than women.
Ben, oui. No, I agree. I know what you're saying. In what way? Do you want to go into detail? Like, in what way?
I feel like men look less haggard than women.
Like haggard. I want to know what that
haggard.
means. I've never heard it. I've never used it. Explain to me.
It haggard, just like just rough. Like,
Oh, come
like
okay, run down,
tired, like went through a rough life, you know?
And I mean, it's so set up that way. Like there's a few people that I follow, and just lately I've been really noticing there's one girl that's like, there's one content creator who really, it's about just the just being a mom basically and how rough it can be.
Okay.
But like I agree to an extent how it's just not set up very female mom friendly. Like it's not set up for moms to feel rested and happy and not run down. Not like, it's not set up that way. And I think it's our responsibility to change shit up and to like show up in our world. And I can't change how all women show up in their marriage and their relationships, but I know that like I still very much am following the whole I have a vagina, so this is what a vagina does and all that, and I get it. But I am trying to shift it a little bit. Do you see what I'm saying? Like just
I know
a little
exactly
bit.
what you're saying. I think for me, it's more like the mental stress of it. But,
Yes.
like, again, I bring that on myself. Like, when
Yes.
I watch Neil in his carefree free life, he's choosing that. Like, he's choosing to not feel stressed about all of those things that I'm choosing to feel stressed about.
I agree I agree with you that there are choices to be made here, and maybe it's our fault, like a little bit. But I also think that like we have a long ways to go for our culture to expect the same from the dad than the mom. Like I think that we have like, so I saw this and I really enjoyed it. She was like, it's here, okay. A responsibility for a mother and an option for a father. And I really like, and it's about when your kids are sick. Like, let's say your kid is sick, that falls on me. Like, if Dia is sick, wakes up sick, and she's not going to school, Jeff is not taking a day off. No. Like, I have to take care. Like, and even when I was a teacher, I know it makes sense maybe because I work from home, but I still have a job. I still have to work. And even as a teacher, I would have been the one that would have felt that responsibility. Whereas Jeff is like, like, are you able to do that? It's just, and it is what it is. And we're trying to shift a little bit, but I think there's years in front of us of like, I mean, we're way ahead we were 50 years ago. And I get that, but there's still that responsibility that we have that for them, it's like just kind of an option.
I saw again, it was someone on the internet, and she was off on a business trip. And this is clearly a woman that has built an incredible business. She's like a stylist. Anyway, she does like 75 things. And she was on a business trip, and she didn't ask me anything. And someone said, where are your children? And she was like, with the other parent.
Wow. I can't believe that someone actually asked that. Like, it's like so put on the internet right now to never ask that. You know what I mean? Like, wow, you're really missing the boat on the internet right now.
Like a man on a business trip, how often are they asked, where are the children?
Yeah, it's just assumed that they're with the mom. Absolutely, no, pour sûr. And I feel like it starts with that conversation and with the way we show up on social media and I guess putting the conversation out there, and so it creates awareness. To not ask a mom at the gym where the kids are, or who has the kids this weekend, or oh, they must be with their father, right? Yeah, they must be. Yeah, no, I agree with you that for me is very interesting. We're going somewhere with this.
Okay, this is just reminding me of.
Okay.
Yesterday, this is kind of juicy. You ready for it?
I want all the juice.
I've walked in on Piper making out with her Barbies are making out.
Okay. Multiple times. You've said this to me multiple times. Okay, yes. So yesterday it happened again.
And I also realized she was playing in the playroom. Like our playroom has a fireplace, you can see through it, and she was playing like right in the corner. And I think she was like trying to like be somewhere where no one could see her.
Okay, of course. Yeah, but you should be private as you're making out. So she's clearly just giving the Barbies some privacy.
So I walk in. The only reason why I know she's doing it is because of how she acts when I walk in. She's like,
okay, all of a sudden the Barbies are very separate.
Yeah.
Right.
So, okay. And there's like a boy in her hand. And she looks so guilty, right?
Oh my God.
So I don't say anything. And then like a couple of hours go by and she's playing with her sister and her friend. And they're doing this whole scene. I'm like, what's happening here? And she was like, oh, this is the kid and the kid's asleep. This is the mom. She's on a date with her boyfriend.
Okay.
And I was like, you go, girl. Like, this is your scene. The kid's at home with the babysitter. And the mom's on a date with her boyfriend.
A boyfriend? Where's the dad? Oh my God. Is the boyfriend the dad? Oh my God. It's too much.
I asked.
No?
I said,
okay.
What happened to the dad? She goes, he died.
Oh no.
And I was like, I didn't know if it was a divorce or died. She was like, he died. Oh my gosh, it made me laugh. Anyways, I'm like, yes, she's playing with her Barbies that the mom goes out on a date and the kid stays home with the babysitter. I like it.
Absolutely. I mean, the only way that they'll ever understand that a babysitter exists and that parents go away is if they are being babysat sometimes by other humans. No, absolutely. And their scenarios it's like Noah right now, he's into scenarios of daycare. Like everyone sit on the floor and I'm going to read you a book. Okay. So clearly they do that. And then he says, my mom's like asking a question about the book. You go, parle pas, on parle pas. It was so cute. Oh my God. She's like, so obviously she laughs and she's like, okay. And he's like, ici les amis, like clearly that they really reenact what they live. And you know what I mean? Like the words he says, I know is from his daycare teacher of like, don't do that. This is where you sit. This is how, like he said, I think Dia said, caca, c'est des mots de toilette. So. Like, and I was like, I never said des mots de toilette. So clearly that's something he learned, which I find so fun. So fun. It's a fun age. Oh my God.
Now, I did ask her, like, I found a time to have her alone, and I said, like, "Do you
Okay.
have any questions for mom?" Like, I said, "You're getting older," and I made it, like, seem like I heard a boy had a crush on you. They were talking about that. So I was like, that made me think about, "Do you have any questions about boyfriends, girlfriends, kissing?" And she was like, "Absolutely not." But I just said, "I am always here. You can ask me anything. I will never be upset." So we'll
I
see how this
cannot
turns out.
wait. I cannot wait for these conversations with my daughter. Like I can't wait. Like I'm like excited about it. You know what I mean? Like just to like, well, first of all, I'm like afraid of the heartbreak that she'll have because we've had heartbreaks. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Growing up, so it's like, and it's like say it's unavoidable and
I knew
inevitable,
with your mouth that you were gonna try and say that word and that it wasn't gonna go well. Inevitable.
inevitable, and
Good.
we want to save them from all of the heartbreak,
It is
Peachy.
inevitable. It's a part of growing up.
I know. And like boys are gonna break their hearts, and we'll be like mad at the boys. You know what I mean? But we'll have to be like, it's a part of your path, and like, and then they're gonna find boyfriends. You think they'll find boyfriends that they don't like? Did you ever have a boyfriend that your dad? Oh my God. Okay, let's take a moment before we actually get into a subject. I want you to share with the world what Neil said when you brought him home for the first time to your father. So Alicia said this to us on our girls trip, and I'm like, stop right now. So I want you to share to to our listeners.
Oh, this was not a good day for Neil.
Poor Neil.
So, first of all, I mean, Neil's 5 years older than me. Not a big deal, but at that point I was 18.
Mm,
So Neil's 23, bleach blonde curly hair. He is a career camp guy. Like this is his what do you do? I go back to camp. I actually get jobs that I can quit so that I can go back to camp every summer. That's what he used to do.
okay.
Okay? He's a smoker.
He's a
He,
smoker.
and he does not have a driver's license.
Uh,
So I like told my
just
mom.
wait, just crushing all of those boxes for a dad and his daughter, just crushing them.
Also, my dad's standards are like next level. Like my dad's a tough guy. Like
Okay.
even my guy friends in university said they were kind of like afraid of my dad. He would like crush their hand with his handshake. He's not like an easy guy. My dad's like he's like a tough sell.
Okay.
High standards. So I told my mom I was in love with Neil. Like I called her on the phone from camp. She's like, "No, you're not."
Oh my God, I love Linda so much.
So I'm like, I'll never forget. My mom was wearing a velour jumpsuit that day that I brought Neil home.
She probably still has it and probably is like really nice.
Burgundy velour jumpsuit. So I'm like, "Kate, I'm bringing Neil home," and I brought 2 other friends home with me. My friend Katrina, and Stretch was his name. His name's actually Derek, but he's like 7 feet tall, so we call him Stretch.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
we're driving home from New Hampshire. I bring a handle of rum. Do you know what that
Mhm.
is?
Absolutely not.
It's a basically rum that you have to carry with a handle. That's how big the bottle is.
Wow.
It's because in New Hampshire, alcohol is super cheap and there's no tax. So there's lots of drinking. Wait, first of all, before this happens, Neil disappears for like 40
Okay.
minutes. Where's Neil? Pooping.
He like is just yeah, he just does what needs to, as he should. Go carry on.
So the night's going. My mom's in bed. We're in my dad's studio. It's late night. And my dad is like talking about how great Stretch is. Such a good guy. Blah, blah, blah. Neil looks at my father and he says,
He clearly is not feeling validated at this moment. That's why he says what he's about to say. He's like jealous almost of Stretch.
"Who cares about Stretch? I'm the guy banging your daughter."
To Pete Stafford.
Banging.
Yeah, he used the word banging. There, right there, you like feel it. You feel the emotion of the banging. You
Like
know, yeah,
you
like banging is serious.
banging, you think like headboard,
Yes,
like
yes. There's banging against the wall. Yeah, yeah. There's penetration and banging at the same time in your head. So he says that to Pete Stafford, like, who cares about Stretch? Like, I'm the one banging your daughter. He thought this was a good idea.
those words came out of his mouth.
On top of being a smoker, no job, and no license.
So my dad looked at him and he was like, "Never say that again." And we look at us now.
Oh, just powering through. Oh my God. Thank you so much for that. The
You're welcome.
universe really enjoyed that for sure. I felt like when you share that to me, c'était tellement shocking. I just like couldn't even, I was like, about it. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Okay. So last night went to go see Top Gun. It was amazing. Loved everything about it. It was this is full circle. That's where we started this conversation. I don't even know.
Have you seen the other Top Gun movies?
I have not. So basically, Jeff, while we're driving there, is trying to like explain to me where we're at and what's happening.
Okay.
I mean, he did great. Like it was very Days of Our Lives. Like basically, I missed 36 years of that movie, and I am, and I still understand the whole thing.
Okay.
It was just like so engaging and so like on like at the end of your seat, though. You know, and Jeff was just explaining to me why this movie was such a big deal because they finished it in 2020 and they have been holding on to that movie for 2 years because they did not want to release it not in this way. They wanted a premiere. Like it's a huge apparently this movie is a huge deal. All real planes, apparently it was like massive to create. And if you're in that world, you would know that. I did not know that. But he's like, those were all real planes. The plane that Tim Hortons, Tom Cruise, the
Wow.
plane that Tom Cruise is driving at the end with his lover, whatever, is his real plane. And that's like a $15 million plane. And like, so Jeff is like, he's like, it's like one of the rare, like people like really are like, he was like a teenager. He was like excited.
Jeff has an erection the entire movie.
And it's not a porn, you know, maybe for him. So it was just so engaging. And I just loved to see a room full of people. And I was like, let's do this, everyone. Let's like, you know, let's get back to this life. And then I'm like, I miss the movie theaters. Like that was fun and easy. Not like you're gone for 2-3 hours, not even for the drive and back. Like I just felt like, why am I not going to the movies more? But then the movies that are there are like replays and they're not putting them in the theaters anymore. Like Tom Cruise like says like, thank you so much for coming to watch this movie. Like there's like a little clip of him being like, this movie was made for you and whatever. So that made me feel like this movie is more than just a movie. You know what I mean? Like it's like clearly a thing. And like it's all old men, not old men, but it was more men than women for sure in the theater. And like 40s, 50s. And they were like so cute. They were like laughing at places that I'm like, that's such an old man time to laugh right now. Like, at like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, at like some of the like witty jokes from Tom Cruise. I'm like, that wasn't really funny. You know what I mean? But like, they're all like, oh that Tom Cruise, that Maverick. You know what I mean?
So did you like watching the movie more or watching the people watching the movie more?
I didn't watch the people watch the movie. I just like caught on that like vibe. You know what I mean? Like usually when I go to the movies, it's like young couples or kids because I go to the kids movie. This was like a very different vibe.
I actually hate going to the movies.
You do because you can't do anything else at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah, you feel like it's not productive. I can't agree with you. I actually think you're a psychopath. Like the fact that you can't sit at a theater because you think you have to do other things is it's actually a problem.
I
like
agree.
You need therapy. Agree. Yeah, exactly. Like
I agree.
Relax. Like, you know what I mean? That you can't be entertained, you know, without being on social media. That's a problem. Without having like doing a task, you know?
I agree.
I think you need to work on that.
Thank you.
I'll work with you. We'll go to the movies together.
You be my coach. That's why puzzles are so good for me.
Yes. Oh, I support you doing puzzles, Alicia. I like that for you. Okay. I see how that's your thing. I like that. And at the same time, you're being productive because you're like, you have a finishing product. So this is still you. This is actually still you with your craziness. You're still a psychopath, actually.
Absolutely.
Because you have a finishing product. Whereas like I wasted 3 hours of my time last night just sitting and being entertained by Tom Cruise. But I got very good content for this podcast. And now I can like look at his forehead and be like, what's happening? Like, how is he this? Jeff talked to me about like how intense he is in that like religion, Scientology.
Yes.
So I Googled that, didn't understand a thing. It didn't seem like it was like that much of a thing. I was like, I don't know what that is. Like I read on it.
Big thing.
In Hollywood, right? In Hollywood.
Big thing in Hollywood, yeah.
Anyways, so I read on it, but I got no information that makes sense to me. So I was like, okay.
I don't think you can drink as a Scientologist. Maybe that explains his non-haggard face.
Maybe, yeah. No, I agree. Okay, that did it. It didn't like it was. It didn't go into detail on Google about Scientology. It was just like that. You believe that like your body was here before, like your soul, like your body and your soul are separate, and that like you you were like in the like you're immortal. Like who you are is immortal. There's a moral part of it. See how great it was, and see how I really understood it. Um, this is 20 minutes. Here's the thing. This is what I wanted to talk about with you.
Go.
Okay. And I think it's a great way to finish this where we're actually like teaching them something.
Okay.
And not what Scientology is, because I don't know what it is. Okay. So this morning I was listening to something and they started to enumerate, like kind of like saying like they were saying keto, they were
List.
listing, I like that. They were listing different things. And in the middle of the listing of like keto, Weight Watchers, whatever, they listed calorie deficit. And I was upset by that because I'm like, it's not a comparison. It's not keto versus calorie deficit. It's not Weight Watchers versus calorie deficit. When we show up to we're teaching the world how a body loses weight. We're not teaching them a new way of dieting or a new way of where it's like a literal knowledge on how a body loses weight, and you do whatever you want with that knowledge. And for it to be like listed with keto and Weight Watchers and intermittent fasting, I'm like, you don't understand that. Then what is calorie deficit? It's not a diet. Calorie deficit is not a diet. It's not a way. It's a state of being. It cannot be listed or compared to keto. Keto is a way of living. Calorie deficit is a state of being. Two different things. Also, as we've said so many times, but this could be the first time you hear it, when you're losing weight with keto, it's because you're in a calorie deficit, because it is state of being. It puts your body in a calorie deficit in the keto way, and so it's that piece we want to teach the world. It's not teaching them. It's not like we're saying you have to be in a calorie deficit, or it's like they're listing it as a way to lose weight. And I'm like, but it's the way for everything. You don't really understand what calorie deficit is if you list it as a way to lose weight. Do you get what I mean?
Absolutely. And if you are following keto, see what happens with keto is your body goes into ketosis. So, like, your body uses carbohydrates as its main source of energy, right? So, if you do not give your body carbs, it goes into ketosis and it like seeks energy from like fat, okay? Or protein. But like, you still have to be in a calorie deficit while doing keto to lose weight.
You still have to be in a calorie deficit with the lack of carbs that you're consuming. Does that make sense?
Yes, and people sometimes question that, and then I say, like, I give them like an extreme example. So if you ate 5,000 calories of hamburger every day, would you lose weight?
Yeah. And they know it's no.
They know it's no. And you know what happens with keto too is because when you consume carbohydrates, your body retains, like, for every gram of carbs you
Yeah.
consume, your body retains 4 grams of water. So
Mhm.
what happens with keto is
Mm,
you lose weight
mm.
super quick
Sure you
because
do.
you're just, your body is you're basically dehydrated. Like, your
Yeah.
body is losing all water weight. So
Mm.
that's like another like tricky thing where people think even if they weren't in a calorie deficit that first week, they would lose on the scale.
They would, because of the water retention and the loss of water in their body. Um, and for me, also, I know that we're saying like lack of carbs and the ketosis, like, but like, are you though? Like, as in, not you are in ketosis, but are you really not eating carbs for the rest of your life? Like, that's not gonna happen. Like, you have to be a hardcore keto follower, and that is probably not you listening to this. I'm just saying it.
Did you ever do keto?
No, no, keto came after my
Yeah.
my dieting days. Like keto, I feel for me in my life is very new. It's very much the last 5 years in my life. Like from what I've like in my days is what it was. Weight Watchers for sure. When like my younger days, Weight Watchers, Simply for Life. There was also Curves.
Yeah. Oh, I remember
Um,
first.
do you remember Curves?
Yeah.
But I've never done anything that was like a thing that wasn't local.
I
You
know what
see
you
what I
mean.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I've never done like Atkins or those programs where they like literally stopped you from eating certain foods or whatever. I've never done those.
Yeah. I did keto in university. And I even had like keto strips. Like you could buy strips to like test your pee.
Shut up.
Absolutely. You
That's
tested your
disgusting.
pee to see how many, like if you were in ketosis or not.
I can't. Okay,
And
for
I
me,
would like, and I would have one day where I would binge. There is
badly.
no other
No
word
other
for it.
word for it. Yeah.
It was always like the day that I was hungover, and me
Yeah.
and my roommate would
Yeah.
literally go to the store and buy everything
Yeah.
and eat until we were so sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
how
I
messed
did.
up is that?
Yeah, no, I did that on Weight Watchers. So like, like because yes, Weight Watchers is doing the like, oh, you're kind of in charge. What they are also doing is like, get weight on this day. This is what you blah, blah, blah. You're trying to lose weight, and so that for me was the factor that was like playing a role on my behaviors. And so right there, it shows you that the minute you're not creating a good relationship with weight loss, and that's the issue in society right now. It's their relationship with weight loss. The minute you say weight loss to every single human on this earth, they have a relationship with that word. They have a relationship with what that means. They have a perception. So they have an opinion as well. And so that's why it's a touchy subject, because everyone has an opinion about weight loss. Everyone has baggage with it in some ways. And even like if it, and the relationship with it could be good. So like, I think if I talk about weight loss with Jeff, he has a good relationship with weight loss. Cool. But he has a relationship with it. Everyone has a relationship with weight loss, whether it's good, bad, medium, whatever. But I do think that most of society does not have a good relationship with what weight loss means. And that hurts my feelings, because I'm like, weight loss could be such a beautiful journey. And what I was listening to, they also were like, it's so confusing right now on the internet, because it's like, don't eat carbs, do a calorie deficit, blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, well, that's not confusing to me, because those are two separate things. So I feel like the world needs to be educated on why people talk about calorie deficit. Why does Jordan talk about calorie deficit? Jordan Syatt. Why does James Smith? Why do we talk about it? And also, it's like that piece that people aren't listening, even on meal. Okay, I'm like all over the place right now, but I want to say this. I'm following this person that sells meal plans. Okay. And when she does ask me anything, and they're like, how many calories should I eat? Any calorie question that is asked, right? Not meal plan related, whatever. Calorie deficit is always a part of the conversation. Like when she replies, it's always like, well, you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, but here's like how you would, whatever. And then they start with their formulas and all that shit. But like, it's this piece where I'm like, that it shouldn't just be this like, oh, I have to make a calorie deficit, because people don't even know what that is, and that's our space in this world, trying to really teach people how a body does that. Once they can do that, they can rock a program like Your Way Weight Loss, because you know what? They have other shit they need to work on.
Yes.
Just learning Your Way Weight Loss, learning calorie deficit is like a piece, but then like all of the trauma, all of the mindset work, all of the other pieces, and not creating a journey that's only weight loss focused, because you're going to end up at the same place, not just physically, you're still in 10 years fearing carbs, fearing the scale, fearing like having the same relationship with weight loss. Like, we want you to have a better relationship with weight loss. And that means having a really good relationship with food, having a good relationship with your body, understanding calorie deficit, feeling in control. Like it's very complex though.
And these, when people try to lose weight, they just go back to those diets,
Yeah.
and that's just perpetuating the cycle of
Yeah.
creating a bad relationship with food and weight loss. And it's just
Yeah.
constantly that cycle. We just want people to, if they do want weight loss for themselves in their life, to feel
Yeah.
like they can get off that train, that cycle.
Absolutely. And so it's that piece as well, where it's like she was just like naming all the things, and then there's like, and then it's, you should love your body the way it is, but like also we all know that excess fat is not good for the health. Like, so she's like, it's like so all over the place. And I'm like, yes, exactly. And that's why we should not be looking out there to figure out what we want, and we shouldn't be doing shoulds. So like, it's like, I know I'm overweight, but I should be accepting my body, because that's the thing on the internet right now. Like, it's not about that. It's like, how can you in your world be more comfortable in your skin? And if weight loss is a part of that, you deserve that. But what you deserve is a really strong, positive, beautiful journey, like a relationship with weight loss. It shouldn't be scary, shouldn't feel like yucky. And that's what we want to give to the world. Like, people deserve, if you want to lose weight, you deserve to do so. Like, why are we making people feel bad for wanting weight loss? It's that it's their, when you make someone feel bad for weight loss, that's your relationship with weight loss. And you're like, oh, weight loss is sucky. Weight loss is bad. No, that's your perception of weight loss. When someone comes to me and wants to lose weight, I'm all excited because I know what the experiences they can have in their lives by losing weight. Like I know what weight loss gave me, you know? And I know not everyone would agree with that. And it's a touchy subject, but I'm sorry. Like losing 70 pounds and just living the life that we live, like, come on. No,
Oh yeah.
I know you agree with me.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There comes to a point where there's obviously accepting your body as it is and like not letting yourself hold yourself back from experiences how you look is we advocate for that. I was talking about that yesterday. However, at some point when you're living your life in a bigger body, you are physically limited. Like
Yeah.
I was physically limited based on my body. I could
Yes.
only physically do so much. I only had so much energy. And there was the physical part, then there was the mental part of
Emotional. Yes, I
emotional.
like
That
this.
was what was holding me back even more than the physical, but
I
just
see what you're saying.
acknowledging that.
Yeah. I love where we're going with this, that there's like those physical boundaries and limitations. And then there's the emotional limitations that you're 100, like both you are 100% in control of, and they can coexist while you're trying to create this like very positive, self-loving person in a body that you do not feel limited in. Like that exists. That was
That
nice. Yeah,
exists.
that exists. All right, you guys, our summer program is out, our summer membership. So it's 10 weeks for 99. It's like one of our favorite. It's such a good time for you to join your weight loss because what we do during summer is not give you a meal plan or tell you to count calories. Step up is not where we eat. You can coexist your weight loss with your summer. It's actually a perfect time for you to take in content, take the pressure off of weight loss, but just really understand how the program can add value to your life and how you can use our content during your summer. Bam.
Bam.
Okay, everyone. So we're about to go, and our next podcast will be with Romeo the stripper. So we're going to interview Romeo right after this podcast, you guys. So on, actually, you already listened to it because this comes after. All is good. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that podcast. Hopefully it goes well. Are you nervous?
Yep. I'm always nervous when there's another human.
Oh, of course, because we don't know what the vibe's going to be like.
And I always I feel pressure that I put on myself because I want it
Right.
to be so good.
So
You know what I
good.
mean?
Yeah.
So I feel
Yeah.
nervous when I want it to be extra good.
Absolutely. I need to charge my headphones before they die and that I have them for 9:30.
Yeah.
Okay. We love you. We appreciate you. Join us. It's time. Have a fantastic Monday, everyone. Bye.